We're live again, round two.
Round two. We're live finally.
30 minutes after we were supposed to be live. I'm just checking to see that we are actually
Better
live.
late than never. Only
Okay.
25 minutes.
Yes. Oh, that was fun. Hi, guys. Sorry if you've been waiting for our live. Sorry if you're on the first one and suddenly we just died.
Wasn't that interesting?
So, my name's Amy Shine.
I'm Alison Cox.
And we were going to jump on today and do a live. We're going to talk about being an empath. Oh,
What's an empath, Amy?
oh my God, what is an empath? So an empath is someone who is able to perceive everybody else's pain, suffering, sadness, happiness, joy. Basically, an empath is someone who can pick up on everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions to an extreme version of that. See, we're all able to pick up on other people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions. I think an empath is like an extreme version of that.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And this is one of the what?
They think everything is theirs, and it hurts, basically.
Yeah, yeah. So I think before I started doing access consciousness, and being an empath was like a disability for me. Like it worked against me, like I would be just like, I'd be like on top of the world one day, and then the next day I'd be like on my ground at home in my bedroom crying, not knowing what was wrong with me, not being able to get off the floor, like so like devastated and just feeling all this pain and sadness and suffering and not really having any reason to feel that. Like, and I didn't have any tools to deal with it. And I really, just thought there was something wrong with me.
Right. Yeah, I didn't even know. Well, has that changed?
Yes, it has a lot, like thanks to access consciousness. And I think one of the beginning classes that I took with Access, which is the foundation class, really started to change a lot of that for me. I mean, it started with the bars, when I found Access bars, that one tool, who does this belong to?
Right.
That was like, oh my God, yeah, like who does this belong to? And I always knew like I always kind of knew like all this stuff couldn't be mine, and and I knew that we had a capacity to take on like our mother's stuff and our grandmothers and our past generational family lineage stuff, but I didn't know how to change it, and I didn't know how to have ease with it. And I also thought it was something I had to do. Like I thought I had to go through all this healing and I had to heal things for other people. And then when I got to Access, especially the foundation class where you really start to undo these points of views you have and get that actually your job is not to heal other people.
Right. I'm like, I was just going through remembering all of the times when I used to do that too. And then the people that show up in the class, it's also like, guess what? You don't have to work so hard anymore. And what we were kind of saying in the other live too is a lot of people think that you need protection from other people's
Energies.
energies, and if you don't, then they're gonna like get in your body and attack you, and you're just gonna suffer for the rest of your life. Like I've heard so many things like this, and I'm like, what? That sounds terrible. And also, when I was younger too, I didn't realize before I took foundation, I didn't realize that I was taking on other people's stuff, or that those thoughts, feelings, and emotions weren't mine. Also, until the who does it belong to? Until like really, I got that 99% of all of the things that I think about aren't even mine.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think one of the things to unlocking it is the bar. First of all, getting your bars run.
Yeah.
Because you have if you have the point of view in place, that's what you're going to create, right? So your point of view creates your reality. So if your point of view is I am an empath, that means I have to pull out pain and suffering of other people, or have to heal other people, or it's my job, or maybe you made it your job in some other lifetime. You made it your job to heal other people. So that point of view is and it's an unconscious point of view. It's already in place somewhere in your cellular memory, and so you're unconsciously going around healing other people all the time. So it doesn't matter what you do, whether you douse yourself in sage or put crystals on your body or protect your energy or any of that doesn't work, because you have the point of view is already in place. You got to change the point of view first. One of the ways that we've found is a very quick, fast, and fun way of changing the points of views is get your bars run, because the bars is undoing the decisions you've made in other lifetimes and in this lifetime, and it's destroying and uncreating the implants you may have had, like the implanted points of views that you have to do this or you have to heal other people. And then the bar starts to do that. And then the foundation class is amazing, because the foundation class is a lot of more in-depth clearings, but also the body work that you do in the face foundation class starts to undo it from your body as well, where you've been doing this unconsciously.
Right, because you can start to lock things in your body. Like any point of view you take, you literally can start locking it in your body, and it can create pain, sickness. I feel like I'm really dark right now.
Yeah. You need to turn up your lights.
I don't know how. I could turn my lights on.
It's good. We'll just ask the lights to turn up. And also we have the, this, so this is the foundation manual, okay? This is like gold. Like this is the manual we should have got when we were born.
Literal gold.
Yeah. And there's like 4 or 5 body processes you learn. And one of them, which is really connected to being an empath, because one of the things about being an empath is that you are able to go, it's a capacity, right? So most of us, up until, we get some different tools, we think it's just like we use it against ourselves. We go around unconsciously healing others, making our bodies sick, pulling pain and suffering out of other people, thinking that's going to help them, but it never really does. We end up with all this stuff that isn't ours locked into our body and trying to heal. And that's the thing, you can't heal something that's not yours, right?
Right. You can't change something for somebody else if they're not willing to change it.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the gifts that, so there's a body process in Access called the biomimetic mimicry process, and you get to learn it and receive it in the foundation class. And that process, I think, was really one of the changing points for me, Alison, in changing, in me not using my empathic ability against myself anymore. Because I used to be like I was just like this sponge, I'd be like, hi, and then I'd walk into the room and it'd be like, oh, sadness, okay, oh, upset, oh, okay, anger, oh, okay, and I'd soak it all in, right? And then I'd come away and I'd be like on the floor crying for like a couple of days, being like, what's wrong with me? Why am I so sad? Why do I hate my life? I love my life. Why do I feel like I hate my life? And then I think one of the real big changing points was in the foundation class, receiving the biomimetic mimicry process, because that is actually run on your body. And that's everywhere you have gone into other people's worlds and tried to mimic what they have going on, as if understanding it will change it.
Yeah. And is that true?
No. And that's one thing we do a lot. We go, why is that person like this? Why is it like that? Why can't they be like this? And we think that if we can understand why someone chooses what they choose, it will change it. When actually, no, people choose what they choose just because they choose it. Some people like their sadness.
Yeah. And it's funny because we can see like what people can choose. You can't always see what you are doing, and you can't always see what you're choosing, and you can't see you can't really see yourself and everything that you are capable of choosing. Other people can. So sometimes you can see what other people could choose, and when they're doing the wrong thing, and what they could be choosing that would be the right thing. And then when you start to have all those judgments of like why they're doing this or why they're not doing this, and don't they realize that they're ruining their life, you start to A, judge them, and that's not very kind. B, take that on for yourself and try to figure it out. But while you're figuring it out, you're literally starting to mimic that in your own reality.
Yeah.
Where the process is in the foundation class, like clear that passively, which is amazing. Or there's questions that will help dig that out if it ever gets stuck. Plus the body processes, it's like empath heaven.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? That's what I feel like whenever I receive bars or body work. I'm like, oh, thank you. It's like just like all the stuff that like maybe starting to impel into my world starts to like move out and now I have space. Because that's what it was like. It was like, you know, you have this beautiful space in your world. You're light, you're free, you're happy, you're walking through the world. And then all of a sudden you're just this boom of sadness or whatever hits you. And it's because you're just aware of other people's stuff. But when you don't have this space for it, it's like impelling into your world. When you have this space, it's just like, oh, okay, that person is sad. Or, okay, that you don't have to jump into people's worlds anymore to try and heal them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a totally different reality, really.
Yeah, it's kind of unheard of because I've been in empathic like groups and basically everyone, it kind of like just like agrees that it's a problem and they'll just kind of like
protect yourself.
Yeah, you need to protect yourself, or this is hopeless, and we'll just be with each other being hopeless because maybe that will make us feel better. But it's like, wait, I don't want to just sit here and be hopeless about this. I want to be able to change it, and then
use it to. So, Alison, what's one of the ways being an empath can actually be a gift? Because so an empath is a healer. It's an extreme version of a healer. It's a capacity, not a curse. That's what it actually says in the foundation manual.
Yeah, it used to feel like a curse.
Actually, it says, my bad. He actually says the empathic capacity is a gift, not a curse. Cool. So what are one of the ways that you've started to have the empathic capacity be a gift for you?
Really, like after I really got interesting point of view. And so in the class, you get to, as a facilitator, I guess, is when I really started to get it more. Because as a facilitator, you get to be you and empower others to change or choose what they're going to choose. And so you just being you, me just being me, we actually get to contribute to each other. As a facilitator, I started learning like, oh, if I'm just interesting point of view, if I just ask questions and if I just be the space of me, it's going to contribute and heal things faster than if I try to figure it out and make things a problem and then go into a solution, wait for a result. It's like, no, you get to be space, be interesting point of view, which it almost like takes the solidity or the contraction off of the problem of whatever you're trying to heal. I feel like I'm hearing voices. Where are they coming from?
It's kind of blurry, but it's so funny. The minute you said that, the blurry went away. That is so weird. You got some crazy energies
today. 20 minutes. I'm like, I literally am hearing things.
Yeah, like up until now. Okay, this is so funny. Like, and so Alison Cox, if you don't realize, she teaches talk to the entities. She's got some capacities with entities, which also that's another part of your empathic gift as well. Like a lot of people who are empathic is like they're aware of beings without bodies too, because like entities, beings without bodies, they also have sadness and anger and all that stuff going on too. So a lot of what you're feeling might not even be from a person in a body. It could be from a person without a body.
Right. Totally.
That's a whole other, and we get to do more about that too in the foundation class with entities. Yeah. But Alison, like since you came on, your like face was all blurry, but we could still hear you, so it's fine. And the minute you mentioned I'm hearing voices, it left.
That is crazy.
That is so cool.
It sounded like, yeah, it was very bizarre. Like, is something coming out of my phone? What is going on?
So she has entities around her trying to talk to her since she's doing an entity class in 30 minutes. Tell them wrong class.
Next wrong class. This is Facebook Live, everyone. Back off.
That was brilliant. So with the being an empath, like I don't know where we were going now. I was like, with the the entities is important too, I suppose. But look, we'll get more into that in the foundation class. But with the empathic, look, I'm going to read what he says, okay, from the foundation manual. Yeah. You get a little sneak peek into the foundation manual, tiny peek. So an empath is a healer, the extreme version. When you are empathic, you have the ability to take the pain and suffering out of other people. Notice how he says the ability. It's an ability, right?
Yeah.
What happens is you will take things into your body to heal them and change them. But the problem is that you then try to lock it into your body so it doesn't go back to the other person. And that's the problem when you try to lock it in. So one of the ways I use being an empath as a gift, not a curse, is when people come to me for sessions, when people come for body work. Being an empath is amazing then, because I can perceive what's going on in their stomach, where they're holding sadness, where they're taking on something from their mother, and I facilitate them, and I be the space and invite them to let it go, to change it if they'd like to change it, to not change it if they don't want to change it. That's the thing. It's not my job to pull anything out of their bodies anymore. It's my job to be the space that invites them to let it go if they'd like to change it. And that's the difference, right?
Yep. And it's so, like, the foundation is so great in access consciousness in general, because it literally takes the right and the wrong off of everything. Like, it's not wrong to have a problem, and it's not right to not have a problem. And if you have a problem, then you're definitely wrong, and you'll only be right when you fix it. It's like, no, you get to choose what you want to choose when you want to choose it, for however long you want to choose it. And if you want to choose something different, awesome. And if you want to keep choosing the same thing, awesome.
Yeah.
And it just gives you a lot of permission, just to, like, it takes the pressure off of having to be right.
Yeah, and also gets you out of always being wrong. Like, there's always a problem to fix, which is one of the things a lot of empaths do when they don't see their capacity as a gift. Like, I know I didn't see it as a gift before access, and I just thought I was cursed, or that I was just wrong. Like, there was something really seriously wrong in me that I needed to fix. And I think, after a while of getting my bars run, I was like, oh my God, there's nothing wrong with me.
Right.
Like, there's actually nothing wrong with me. I just got to create my life, and that's because the universe gives you what you ask for. So if you're constantly like, there's something wrong with me, I need to figure it out, that's all you're going to get more and more of. Like, the universe will give you literally what you're asking for. What you're saying, it will give you.
Yeah.
And so, and that's one of what
you're thinking too, even if you don't say it. I'm like, damn, or yay.
So, and another thing is too, as well, as what we do a lot as well with the empath, is that, like, being an empath, we see something in someone and we're like, oh, like, when we do it a lot with our family, with your mother, you're like, oh, my mother's sad. Like, oh, but you're like, oh, but you could be happy. You're like, oh, you could be happy. I can take that sadness out of you and then you can be happy. But the thing is, your mother might be like, actually, I like my sadness. Mm-hmm. And she'll take it back. But then you will lock that sadness into your body as if it's yours and try to heal it. But if it's not changing, then it's not yours. Right. And so we lock a lot of stuff into our bodies because we don't want to go back to this person.
Yep. And but also we help to hide, like, when you do that, you actually hide some of the information that they could use to actually change it from them.
Wow.
Yeah. So like, they won't. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. Like, I've never heard anyone say that before, but it's really crazy. Yeah, you're right.
Because you're like, by you taking it out, locking it in, they can't actually see the whole picture of what would actually change the
whatever it's the sadness or the anger or whatever. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. So you're actually disempowering people by trying to heal them.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of misinformation in the world about this, Alison, especially in metaphysics, about healing others, and people go look for healers to heal them. And, and there's a lot of healers in the world who are very sick as well, because they are doing this. They're pulling things out of people's bodies. And a lot of people are going around with sickness and illnesses that aren't theirs.
Right.
And you can't change it, So one of the things, so if we're to give us some tools for people to take away today, like, one of the things, I suppose, one of the things that I love is, if it's heavy, it's not yours. Like, if it's heavy, like, what's light is, like, what's true for you is light, and what's heavy is a lie. So a great way for me to like gauge that is, if I wake up and I'm like feeling great, walking through the world, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I feel like going to sleep, or I feel really heavy, or I feel like crying. You want to ask, who does this belong to?
Yeah.
Because what's light for you is true for you. What's heavy is a lie. Who does this belong to? Is this mine, or someone else's, or something else? And just start returning the sender.
Yeah. If it's not yours, usually asking who does it belong to lightens it up for you. Like,
yeah.
And what is true for you makes you expansive. So if you're like, who does this belong to? It is mine. And your world contracts and you're like, but I'm right. This is mine. That's actually heavy. It's actually contracting your world. Like, it doesn't make you feel that great. So that would be a good example of a lie.
I love it. And then, okay, so who does it belong to? And what's heavy is a lie. What's light is what's true for you. Another really great tool with being an empath too that really helps me a lot, Alison, is because you know the way we talked about how a lot of people think they need to protect their energy and they need to put up like, you know, crystals all around them and beaming lights and stuff and all that. And all that stuff is cool. If you like that stuff, go for it. But rather than trying to protect your energy and separate from others and like contract, what I do is I expand out. So the expansion exercise really helps me a lot, especially if you're around. So if you grew up in a house where there's a lot of sadness or a lot of anger, you're going to be very susceptible to that particular energy. So the minute you're around someone who's sad or angry, you are going to perceive it. So it's very easy for you to go, oh my God, I'm sad, because you grew up in a house of sadness. You know that energy. So for me, like, I know I grew up with, so for me, anxiety is something I'm very aware of. The minute I'm around someone with anxiety, I'll start feeling it in my belly. Like I'll be like, and I'm like, okay.
You're like a horse.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, anxiety, okay. And so what I do is who does it belong to? And then expand out. How much more space can I be? So you want to be more space than that feeling or that emotion or that person you're aware of.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, like the bigger the space you are, the more you're not at the effect of anybody else's thoughts, feelings, or emotions.
Yeah. I'm so excited for this class because it's just so cool to see. Like, I was happy before my first foundation, but I'm like, didn't realize all of the hidden stuff that now I can be even happier, but also not have to hide the anxiety, like the underlying anxiety, not have to like avoid certain people or certain situations because I could perceive everything. And now it's like, God, we've been in Access for, you and I together, like
7, 8 years.
And I'm like,
7.
Like 6 or whatever it is, 7. Yeah. And so it's like, it just keeps getting better and better and better.
It does. Yeah.
And most people don't, like, I didn't know what total space and ease was. Like, even at the beginning of this call, when everything was like, I realized, I was like, man, I'm not really big myself. I kind of feel worried. Like, I literally was like, kind of preoccupied by something else. I'm like, do I have to check an email? What's going on? Trying to listen at the same time. And then I got the voices through my phone, and then everything kind of cleared. And I feel like I can talk now. But I was someone else's points of view. But it's so fast with the tools that escape. Yeah.
And you know that one too, Alison, I love that really snaps me out of it as well very quickly is, whose universe am I in? Mine or someone else's? It's so fast because it's like, just like you said, like that worry, like yesterday, like it'll just like, it'll randomly come up. I was like in the shower having a great day. And all of a sudden I was like, started like getting that worry about money and this and that. And then I was like, wait 1 second, whose universe am I in? Yeah. Mine or someone else's? Oh, someone else's. Okay. But the minute you ask that question, like whose universe am I in? You're already back in your universe because you're asking the question.
Right.
Because you're acknowledging, oh, this isn't my universe.
Now she's talking to me. I didn't even say Siri.
That is so funny. Tara said, I so enjoy when you both facilitate together. There's lots of people watching. Cindy's in Ireland, Cara, Ruth, Isabella, Rocio, Kashi Paulus said, return to sender with consciousness. Yes, hiding. Oh man. Yeah. So we have the online foundation, 2 of us. I'm really excited, Alison, to do this with Alison online. She's talked to the entity facilitator. She's I was going to say talk to the animals, like conscious writer, facilitator. And we both work with bodies. We both do massage. We both love doing body work. So we have a lot of like capacities together. It's going to be incredible class.
Yeah. And I'm so excited. We've been talking about this for a long time, and we were going to do it live, like on the planet, on the ground.
Yeah.
But now we get to do it like this. I mean,
Yeah.
even sooner than we were going to before.
Yeah,
So
right? So much easier. So we're going to do an online foundation. So it's going to be the hours are going to be broken up over 5 days. It's going to be 4 hours each day with a break, and obviously we'll have breaks in the class or whatever. And it's going to be online on Zoom, and you get like your manual gets sent to you and stuff like that. So you get the manual digitally, I think. But yeah, what is it? May the 14th, right?
May the 14th through the 18th.
Yeah, May the 14th through the 18th. So if you have any questions about it, reach out to us and we'll post the link below as well. Just send us a message if you do want to be on that class. And if there's anything holding you back, like money or anything, send me a message. I have loads of tools to create money for classes with ease.
She's Irish. She's basically leprechaun, and she's a genius with money.
I have never had the money before a class. I always like to choose the class first and then create some magic in getting there. So
like it's 2 days before.
Yeah, like it's really possible, believe me. Okay, I'll tell a little story and then we'll go because I know you have your talk to the end of the class.
Yeah.
The first foundation class I went to, okay, I was living in Ireland. I was my last year in college. Had no money. I didn't even have a job. But I found Access and the bars. After the one bars class, I was like, holy shit, I'm jumping in here because these tools are amazing. I was blown away by the bars. So I wanted to actually take a 3-day body class, and to take the 3-day body class, you have to take foundation first. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll take foundation. But I really just want to go to 3-day body class. And in a way, I was like, oh God, I don't know how I'm going to afford all this. And what I did is I just actually put the flyer on my wall for the foundation, and every day I went, universe, I'm having this. I saw myself in the class. I saw myself in the 3-day body class. That's the one I was like, I know I am going to be at that class. I know that's what I've been looking for all my life. I know that's I'd been asking for body work when I didn't even know what body work was. Yeah. And then, so with the foundation class, I just kept saying, universe, I'm having it. And every day, what's it going to take for me to be there? I had a real demand. And I just, I did random things. I started cleaning my brother's house and I paid for it. I got my bars license. I taught a bars class. I just did random things. But I went to my first foundation class. I didn't even have money for lunch. I brought my own lunch with me in a lunchbox.
That's amazing.
I prepared my own lunch and brought it with me. And then when I got to the class, you start losing your limitations in the class. Then come lunch, I'm like, fuck it, I can buy lunch. And I didn't eat the lunch I brought. But yeah, I was, in a total, but I made it happen, I was just like, whatever it takes. So when you have that demand, the universe is like, whoa, okay, she's having this. Let's go, let's contribute to her,
When you choose and commit, the money starts showing up out of nowhere.
Yeah, you do the same. You're like another magical fairy who creates money out of thin air.
One time I had 2 weeks to create for an $8,000 class, and I was like, that's impossible, but is it? I'm like, well, let's just see what happens. I'm going. So I put some money down, and then
kept choosing
packages. I just kept choosing, and more money showed up. Literally $10,000 showed up in 2 weeks, and I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, it really does. Universe doesn't have a point of view on the amount of money. Mm-hmm. If you're willing to choose it and demand it, the universe is like, here you go. And everything starts rearranging. And you know what I love about this too, Alison? I see so many people wait for the money, oh, I'll do that class when I have the money. I'm like, no, choose the class, because when you choose the class, your whole life gets an upgrade. Yeah. You upgrade. You're suddenly your life is getting greater because you're choosing greater. And the universe is like, here you go. You're choosing greater. Here you go. Here's more people in your classes. Here's, I don't know, maybe your husband suddenly comes into money. Random stuff happens. Tara said, I had the same experience. I chose ESB and had to take foundation within 3 weeks. I didn't have the extra money for either, and it showed up like magic. Yeah, she's another magical creator.
Yeah, definitely.
And you all are, everyone watching this, everyone has this capacity. It's not like some of you are magic and some of you aren't, and that's one of the things I love about Access, is that when you do choose, and that's when you get to see how the tools work.
Yeah.
It
blows your mind. We can tell you about it all day long, but when you actually apply it and things start changing, as if by magic, it is bizarre.
You're like,
still bizarre.
you're like, oh my God, these tools that I teach actually work.
Yeah. How does it get any better than this? And
then, yeah. Okay, Alison, I know you have to go and hop on your talk to the entity class. So thanks for being here, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. We'll see. We'll hop on again soon.
Yeah, let us know. Oh, by the way, if you have any topics you want me and Alison to talk about, we're going to do a couple of lives. Probably do one live every week up until the class. Yeah. So let us know. Drop us a line.
Drop us a line.
Bye.